What a joke. So yeah, this poor chap who had the audacity to use his speech.
Yeah.
How dare you speak your mind in the UK? How dare you?
Look, if he'd said death to the Jews, it would have been anti-Semitic. He didn't.
Yeah.
He is calling out a genocidal, baby-killing organization, military machine. So basically something like this, I mean, I don't think they should have been banned in the first place, or even should be considered to be banned. I think obviously what they did was criminal according to British law, but we have criminal laws to deal with that. It's nothing to do with terrorism. Terrorism is Al-Qaeda, ISIS, people that blow up stuff, that murder people, okay? Not people that are spraying red paint on buildings or shutting down Israeli weapons factories during a genocide.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Salaam alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Muslims Uncensored with me, Robert Carter, dressed for the occasion, and Roshan Saleh, much less so dressed for the occasion. This is a show with high standards, Roshan. I expect to see you
it's not bad.
dressed for the occasion in the future.
Shirts, pants, shoes, what more do you want?
Better than
jacket.
that.
You want to wear a jacket?
Better than that jumper that you've...
With a little handkerchief in there, just like, oh, I'm posh.
Yeah, what can I say? Well, I'm representing 5 pillars, so I've dressed well for it, but never mind, we can't all expect.
More like you representing horse and hound, not 5 pillars. But anyway.
Well, we've got a lot
of fox hunting with the chaps.
I don't think so. I'm trying to keep up with the other. There's this trend online of English reverts dressing up fancy.
Yeah. I'm not impressed by that.
Converts. Oh, okay.
Well, what is that all about? Why do they do that?
I don't know. They're trying to basically say we're English.
I'm a proper English person and I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, so you could be Muslim too. But I don't know.
I can't believe that's a thing.
I prefer hanging out with people in... Drewsbury and those types of places.
Yeah.
Those are the areas. Those are the types
chicken
of
and chips type people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm much more at home with them, really. Or despite the look, I mean, I can't help it. I'm a handsome guy, dresses well. I can't help it. SubhanAllah. That's how
I've just stereotyped Drewsbury people as chicken and chips type. Yeah, but I'm a chicken and chips type guy as well. So yeah, it's not an insult.
No, nothing personal. I know all of our fans in Drewsbury are going to ditch 5 pillars en masse now. Well, let's get down to the serious story, because there is a lot happening, Roshan. A lot at stake here. There is a major vote that's going to take place in Parliament today. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, and it's related to the direct action protest group Palestine Action, with the government set to prescribe the group. That's what they're trying to do. So they're going to vote about it, and if that goes through, they're going to take it to the House of Lords tomorrow, and it will become law after that. Palestine Action are, of course, a group which we've all come to know very well. They engage in direct action to try and stop a genocide, to try and stop the UK from supporting the Israeli regime via the arms sale industry. And obviously they target arms industry companies and their facilities, vandalizing some of the property, spraying red paint. But this came about after a recent direct action protest targeting an RAF base, and I think they spray painted some aircraft with red paint, that type of thing. Massive outrage exploded after the fact, and then of course it's led to where we are now, which is on the verge of the group being prescribed as a terrorist organization. Yeah. So Roshan, where do you stand on this? Terrorists? Or,
no, obviously not. No, I mean, I think it is pertinent to say that by the time this podcast comes out, I think Parliament would have already voted tonight to ban Palestine Action. Then it goes to the House of Lords tomorrow, and then it becomes illegal to support them on Friday, Saturday, I think. And if you do, you could face up to 14 months in prison for supporting a bunch of sandal-wearing hippies, basically, that have never hurt a fly and have never indulged in any act that I could recognizably say was terrorism. It's ridiculous. I mean, also, I think it's worth pointing out that this is a stitch-up. So Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, is basically trying to hoodwink Parliament into passing this. And what she's done is she's lumped together 3 disparate groups, a Russian group, Palestine Action, and another group, I don't even know who they are, Maniacs Murder Cult. Yeah. So what she's done is she's put all these 3 together in front of Parliament, and they will have to vote on banning all 3 or none. So it's a well-known tactic to basically rush something through. This has not been debated properly. It's not been examined properly. It's been opposed by the UN, by Amnesty International, Liberty, many other human rights organizations. I think there's a court case happening on Friday in London to delay the prescription. So basically something like this. I mean, I don't think they should have been banned in the first place, or even should be considered to be banned. I think obviously what they did was criminal according to British law, but we have criminal laws to deal with that. It's nothing to do with terrorism. Terrorism is Al-Qaeda, ISIS, people that blow up stuff, that murder people, okay? Not people that are spraying red paint on buildings or shutting down Israeli weapons factories during a genocide. So obviously, I think they're miscalculated. I fully expect to see this law being widely flouted, actually. Even if a ban comes into effect, I expect people to keep on saying, we are Palestine Action, marching in the streets. And then the ball is in the police's court, quite frankly. Are they going to arrest hundreds of people, perhaps thousands of people, that are going to say this openly on social media, on the streets? I think this is a confrontation that the Home Office and the government probably haven't bargained for. And let's see what happens. Lots of people have been saying, this might be like the poll tax. You're too young to remember the poll tax. That was brought down. That's what brought down Maggie Thatcher. Yeah. Basically, an unfair tax which the British people opposed. It led to riots, and she did a U-turn. The Conservative government at the time did a U-turn. So I think this could lead to something like that. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's insane, isn't it? These people are, as you say, they've never hurt a fly. It's not a violent group that calls for violence or anything like that. It's just engaged in protest action. And I think that the bigger consequence of this is obviously the rights of people in this country. I mean, we obviously talk about it from, the Gaza perspective and the fact that it's immoral that Britain is aiding a regime, killing Muslims and all that type of stuff. But just for British people in general, non-Muslims watching this, this is an authoritarian government regime, which is literally eroding away all your rights to protest. These people, and we've met them, we've interviewed them in the past, they want nothing more than to end a genocide and to save human life. That's their number one objective, is to save human life. They're trying to
stop terrorism.
They're trying to stop terrorism, but they're being accused of being terrorists. This is obviously a case of overreach by a state which is weaponizing counter-terror laws and is wielding terror police to literally stop people from trying to save human life. It's absolutely insane. Well, you've mentioned that it's a stitch up. I mean, this is, of course, something which was mentioned by politicians as well. Jeremy Corbyn even highlighted this point and challenged the Speaker to try and separate these three various groups. I'll just play out now so it's documented. This is Corbyn's attempt to try and separate the groups, at least to give MPs a chance to fairly debate and choose which group specifically should be designated terrorist or not. And this was the response by the Parliament Speaker.
Jeremy Corbyn. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. Following the point of order you've just heard, can you consult with the Speaker's office about any process that can happen between now and the start of the debate on the statutory instrument on prevention of terrorism, so that the three organisations listed can be voted on separately? Because I think that would be a proper way of members of the House expressing their views.
I thank the right honourable gentleman for his point of order. I'm afraid that his request is simply, in procedural terms, not possible. Chair is not responsible for the selection or the grouping of motions such as this. And the motion is and will be put to the House as it is on the order paper.
Such a stitch up, Roshan. It's such a stitch up, as you said. And I just think that this country's going down the toilet. It's a total authoritarian police state now. I mean, there was a woman, as we covered, who was plucked off the streets for holding up a sign with some coconut fruits on it, and she had to go for a long legal process. And already similar direct protest action has been done on multiple occasions over the past 20, 30 years. Related to various things like Britain's war on Iraq, among other things. And on every occasion, the courts ruled that they were not guilty. In order to understand and protect the right of people to engage in protest action like this to save human life. And now we have a government headed by a prime minister who defended one of these actionists at the time over the Iraq war, I believe it was, who's now trying to weaponize laws in this way and to destroy people's freedom to protest, freedom to speak out, freedom to take action in this country. What a joke Britain has become. It's a total police state. And I think that, you know, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Britain, you know, there's this great democracy with freedoms and we live in, what do they call it? The free world, the Western world or whatever. It's a total police state. I mean, there's no difference here really than Saddam Hussein's Iraq. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do as you're told, do what the state says, keep quiet, or armed police will come round to your house and smash your doors in and drag you off.
And the context of this obviously is Keir Starmer's Labour tanking in the polls and just doing a terrible job of running the country. And they know that they're incredibly unpopular, so they've decided for whatever reason. I think the tactics are wrong, but they've decided to lurch to the right to get those right-wing voters who aren't going to vote for them anyway. I think if anyone might change their mind, unfortunately, it might be Muslims, or it's lefties that might flock to them at the next election if they play their cards right, and they seem to be antagonizing their very own constituency.
I think people are just they're done with Labour. I think Labour's going to perform badly. The left and the right, everyone hates them now. Everyone, I think, just despises Labour and everything that they stand for or don't stand for. There is another story, continuation of this. So a performance artist. What is he? A rapper? I'm not sure. He's a musician.
He's a
punk musician, singer, pop. Hippity hop.
I'm not into punk, so I don't know what it is, but yeah, he sings pop. He does punk
stuff.
He's a singer. He's a lefty singer.
Okay. Well, Bob Vylan is his name, and he performed at Glastonbury. Even I know what Glastonbury is. Yeah. And he sparked tremendous condemnation and controversy for a particular chant and song that he led among his fans and audience. I do have that clip, Roshan. Let's play out now.
What did he say? I wonder.
Yeah.
Free, 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 free. Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF. Death, death to the IDF! Hell yeah, from the river to the sea, Palestine must be, will be, inshallah, it will be free.
So what's funny there is that like the Zionists all say from the river to the sea is an anti-Semitic chant. Well, he did a lot worse than that, didn't he? That's what he said.
Well, I mean, everyone's obviously piled in now. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of kids dying, Roshan.
Yes.
But that's not the priority here. The priority is this guy who I've just heard of now had the audacity. All right. How dare he speak out against the IDF, this wonderful organization that hands out flowers to Palestinians, the most moral army in the world that has done no wrong to anyone, Roshan. I mean,
only kill terrorists.
How dare you criticize the IDF? Go to jail. What a joke. So yeah, this poor chap who had the audacity to use his speech. Yeah. How dare you speak your mind in the UK? How dare you?
Yeah.
I think we need to send him to Guantanamo. No. I think we need to totally persecute him. He has no right to have any desire to save human life whatsoever.
Well, that's what you think if you're a Zionist. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this has been dominating. Brothers and sisters, if you're watching from abroad, this has been dominating the headlines for about 3 or 4 days now in Britain. This chant, death, death to the IDF.
They're obsessed with it.
At the same time, Israel has been massacring real people, including women and children and civilians in Gaza again and again and again.
The IDF, more specifically, has been massacring innocent children and people and women and civilians.
So that you can see where the British mainstream media has its priorities. It's absolutely disgusting. I actually don't think that any Muslim or person of conscience should be working for the BBC or Sky News anymore, because you can see that literally they're following a Zionist playbook script here. You know, they want this to be top story, don't they? Yeah, and it is top story.
And that's the thing. They're on the behest of some pro-Israel groups and activists in this country, many of whom are actually politicians as well. They're pro-Israel activists too, after all.
On the payroll.
On the payroll. They're basically, just pursuing this guy, an artist who, for speaking. You know, that's literally what the story is.
And they're saying it's anti-Semitic. Is it anti-Semitic?
Look, the IDF is a foreign army or force that's killing people and is currently being accused of genocide and war crimes.
Yeah.
So to say death to genocidal maniacs who are killing kids, I mean, no, it's not. And I think that
if he said,
I wonder if he even knew that much about Gaza a few years ago.
I know. I think he did actually. I've seen a clip a couple of years old. Where
he's principled. He knows what he's talking about.
He's an activist. Yeah,
he's an activist. And but yeah, the audience, for example, everyone's going, how dare everyone at Glastonbury sit there? Why are there so many people there all chanting along with him?
Back, yeah.
Where are all these people coming from? These are ordinary people who are non-Muslim, most of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are seeing what's going on in Gaza. And do you know what? They've heard Israel's bullshit. They've heard Israel's propaganda line daily because the BBC pumps that into their head, whether they want it to or not. So they've heard Israel's argument to justify their mass murder of innocent people. And do you know what? They're not convinced by it. No. They see a genocide, they smell a genocide, and they go, do you know what?
It's genocide.
They go, the IDF. Excuse me, Roshan. I'll
edit that one out.
F the IDF.
Yeah.
Just like the artists do. And it wasn't just Bob here, he was the only one who called for death to the IDF. Yeah. But most artists were saying, you know, like, damn Israel, end the genocide, end the war. It was the major theme of Glastonbury this year. Yeah. And now everyone's turning around in the mainstream going, oh, Glastonbury, oh, I'd never go there again. It's like, well, why don't you advocate for an end of genocide then? Maybe that's the priority here.
Look, if he'd said death to the Jews, it would have been anti-Semitic. He didn't.
Yeah.
He is calling out a genocidal, baby-killing organization, military machine. And it's like, I mean, in Iran, they have this chant, death to America. Does that mean that they want to kill all Americans? No, it doesn't. It's basically a political chant against the US government and its colonial foreign policy. Everyone knows this, but obviously it's being weaponized by the usual, you know, Zionist voices that want to cover up for genocide. What's he said here?
Now, in response to the avalanche of criticism that's come his way, he's now lost, I think he had his visa revoked
for US.
He was going to the US.
Talent agency dropped him.
Talent agency dropped him. Everyone's condemning him. Everyone's trying to get him deplatformed and jailed or whatever it is. Everyone's attacking him right now, including, I think, the Prime Minister condemned him. Everyone's going after him now on behest of Israel. Well, many in this situation we have seen will buckle. They'll buckle under pressure. They'll apologize. They'll try and, you know, get out of it by appeasing. Not Bob Vylan. Bob Vylan has come out with a statement where he basically digs his heels in and stands by the Palestinians in a very honorable way. This statement has got, I think, 8 million views, 8.4 million views. So it's been seen by huge numbers of people. And he basically says that we are not for the death of Jews, Arabs, or any other race or group of people. We are for the dismantling of a violent military machine, a machine whose own soldiers were told to use unnecessary, lethal force against innocent civilians waiting for aid, a machine that has destroyed so much in Gaza. And he has said that the government doesn't want us to ask why they remain silent in the face of this atrocity. So they've made him the center of the story. It's a deflection tactic. So he's called it out. He stood by his principles, and God bless him, quite frankly. I think he's done the absolute right thing, a thing that we all should be doing, especially those Muslims who are weaseling out and doing interfaith and are trying to, you know, cozy up to the establishment of this time and are trying to, you know, issue softly worded messages of condemnation.
Think we need
to these non-Muslims, Palestine Action and Bob Vylan and the rest of them, putting them to shame.
A lot of Muslims, by the way, are in Palestine Action as well. A lot of them in jail, so or a few of them.
That's true.
But I think we need to support people like this, because obviously the Zionists, when this happened, they tried to get them deplatformed. I think it's important that pro-Palestinian people, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, support people like this and give them platforms, you know, and give them financial help, give them non-financial help as well, so that there isn't such a price to pay. But we all know in the pro-Palestine movement that sacrifice is part of our, you know, occupational hazard, quite frankly. We know that speaking up for Palestine is going to come at a cost, and we accept that cost, and we will bear that cost, and we're not going to cry about that cost, quite frankly, because it is a badge of honor. So if you get us deplatformed, that's fine. We'll fight tooth and nail not to be deplatformed, But we'll just find another platform and we'll keep coming again and again and again until the day we die.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there was a protest in Leicester. I think it was like a day or two after this story broke, and it was a Muslim-led protest, the kind of protest I like, Muslim-led, and it was good. It was a really good protest.
We like on Five Pillars generally. We like Muslims in the driving seat, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We don't like being in the coattails of non-Muslims.
Yeah,
even if they're nice non-Muslims.
Yeah,
our whole kind of raison d'etre and our goal and vision is to have Muslims in the driving seat of everything that we do.
Yeah.
So it's great to see a Muslim-led protest, and non-Muslims can come along as well, but let's lead it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need more of this, because before I even play this out, this is basically a snippet from the protest and one of the speeches by a Muslim, Moazzam Beg, who we know very well here, who spoke at the protest. I just find that the protests led by Muslims now, especially on the Palestine issue and others as well, they're just better. They're more outspoken. They're more unapologetic. They have better wording and language. They're not shy. They're not cowardly. They're not yellow-bellied. They're more, I think, because there's a religious principle behind it. So if Muslims engage in something, especially activism-wise, they do it because they genuinely are passionate and they believe that they have some mission to achieve here, like the Palestinian thing. I think some of the mainstream big left-wing led Palestine movements have been a bit gutless at times.
They're very safe and controlled, aren't they?
Very safe, very controlled. They stick by the two-state solution bullshit. They stick by not calling out Zionism. They don't want to go there. It's too, controversial. They don't want
Robert, we really have to. I know people have a go at me about this, or maybe they think I'm being radical or whatever. But we really should no longer accept talk of a two-state solution, amongst Muslims as well. That is not the solution for Palestine. Okay, the solution for Palestine is an Islamic state. That's what it is. It's an Islamic state, and more Muslims need to be repeating this day after day after day. We want Islam for Palestine, and we're not afraid to say it.
Yeah, that's it. And if left to their own devices, if they gave Palestine back to the Palestinians, we know where it would go. It'd be a Muslim majority, Muslim-led country, wouldn't it? Well, let's play out this speech now, because this was one that certainly grabbed a lot of attention. Moazzam Beg speaking at the Leicester pro-Palestine rally.
And one of the beautiful chants you made today was death to Zionism. Death to Zionism. And the other chant you made today is that Israel is a terror state. And that's not just a statement of a protest, it's actually true. Israel as a state, the IDF in particular, yesterday at Glastonbury what was said. Should I say the words? Yeah. Shall I say the words? Yeah. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Now let's prove why that statement is necessary. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, it isn't that it's just charged at the International Court of Justice with genocide and crimes against humanity. It isn't just that the leader of the IDF, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is charged at the International Criminal Court with war crimes, including the targeting of civilians and children and using starvation as a method of war. But also, the origins of the IDF itself. It was founded by several organizations, 3 of which are the most prominent. Haganah, which was facilitating the movement, the illegal immigration of people into Palestine. And because they weren't doing that fast enough, 2 other organizations, one called Irgun and the other one called Lihi, or the Stern Gang, started to bomb, execute and murder British soldiers in British Mandate Palestine. So the MI5 at the time branded the originators of the IDF as what? Terrorists! So when you say that the IDF is a terrorist organization rather than Israel as a state is a terror state, you are speaking the truth. Israel is a terrorist state! Israel is a terrorist state! Okay, and what is supposed to be, how do you deal with terrorists? How do you deal with them? What do you say to them? What have we been saying for the past 25 years to so-called terrorists? We won't negotiate with you, we will have no conversation with you, we will ban you, we will arrest you, we will imprison you, and yet our government aids, abets and arms the terrorist state. Shame on our government. Shame on our government. Shame on Keir Starmer. Shame on Keir Starmer. So when you make those chants, my dear brothers and sisters and friends, and you say death to Zionism, death to the IDF, you have evidence. You are quoting from the reality that even if a dog was to be kicked in the street, by Allah, that dog has the right to bite you back. So imagine a whole nation, a whole people targeted just a few days ago. It was released by the news in Haaretz, an Israeli newspaper, which said that the Israeli IDF soldiers were told to target civilians, which is a war crime. Israel itself is a war crime, and we as a people need to come together to speak out against that war crime called Israel. Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Speaking the truth.
So yeah, that was his speech, and I think what this represents now is people are more inclined to be outspoken about this. They're more inclined to tackle this head on, and I think we're starting to see more bravery from parts of our community and from the pro-Palestine community now, because people have had enough. Going sick and tired of it, Roshan. They're sick and tired of it. There's no end in sight. They're being allowed to get away with war crimes. And what? Are we going to see a bunch of British citizens come back from the IDF after this genocide ends? And what? They're just going to integrate and...
They're walking our streets. People that have you know, basically participated in the Gaza genocide are walking our streets.
It's madness, absolute madness. So, but people have had enough. There is a lot of momentum and anger still out there. And people are sick of it, and they're calling Zionism out directly now. They're calling out
racist
directly.
ideology, and it needs, just like, you know, apartheid South Africa, it's a racist ideology that needs to disappear from the page of time.
And I just think we need to sort out our own protest movements as well. The Muslims always do it better, I think. You know, it's whether it's the Palestine issue.
They won't say anti-Zionism, will they? You know, like these big marches in London that we see. Have you ever, apart from Mohammed Al-Kurd saying it once, have you ever heard...
They didn't invite him back.
Yeah, and anti-Zionism or...
No, they don't talk about it.
Know,
I think we know, don't we, that deep down they don't like to talk about it. There's been memos or whatever, probably.
They're very scared of being called anti-Semitic, aren't they?
Yeah, they're very apologetic for that. I mean, the whole thing that brought Jeremy Corbyn down was that he fed into the lie.
He tolerated it. Yeah.
He tolerated it and engaged with this idea that Labour under his leadership was this horrid, toxic, anti-Semitic thing, and that he had to apologise for everything, and it brought him down.
He should have just gone on the offensive, shouldn't he? And just literally said, piss off, basically.
If it's not true, why would you apologise for it? It's as simple as that. So I think that particular way of thinking... And
I think he thought also that he could appease the Zionist lobby by being nice to them and attending their events and speaking directly to them by persuasion, rather than facing the reality that they are the enemy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and
they have to be defeated.
Yeah, they have to be defeated politically.
They have to be defeated politically. And of course, you know, our side wants nothing but freedom for the Palestinians and the right to self-determination, an end to the genocide, end to war, end to ethnic cleansing, end of the Nakba. Their side just wants to purge the land, as many people as it takes to kill as possible. It's an apartheid regime. It's racist. It's supremacist. We want to end that. You know? We want to end evil and killing. You know, that's what we're all about.
What else we got?
Well, there is a bit more hate in Britain, surprise, surprise, and it's targeting the so-called mega mosque. You remember the mega mosque story?
They're all mega mosques, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even if they build a shack,
room as well.
One room, it's a mega mosque.
Mega shed. But yeah, it's the poor Lake District mosque, which is located just right by the Lake District, a very picturesque, beautiful part of the country. They're building a mosque up there, Roshan, and there's nothing wrong with it. Alhamdulillah, the project is cracking on nicely, but they faced a tremendous campaign of hate and intimidation by far-right agitators in this country.
Are we going to see Nick Tanconi?
They keep going up there and harassing them. So I was appalled by this, because they've been suffering in silence for a while, faced with all of this type of behaviour, as you can see. I'll play a clip out now.
I'll cut your head off. Someone said that. Or they'll cut your head off.
Yeah.
Fine bunch of people. Well, they all look like all university graduates.
0.4% Muslims. There are no Muslim families around here. Who do you think's going to be using this facility? 3 stories, 2.5 million. Do you feel no shame? It is for Operation Scatter. It is for the illegals to have a home. You have sold your souls. You have betrayed Britain. You're traitors.
I think one of the builders told him to F off.
He's basically, he's a wannabe Tommy Robinson, isn't he? He's the leader of UKIP. UKIP, a failed party, used to be Nigel Farage's party, and then basically collapsed under the weight of its own idiocy. And he's their leader now. But I think he did an even more incendiary video, didn't he, a few days ago?
He did.
Where he was linked. Should we watch it now?
Yeah, so this is Nick Tenconi, who is the head of UKIP, as you say.
Sounds very British, by the way. Nick, Nick Marcel Tenconi, yeah.
Yeah, great British name there. Yeah. Let's see, what we want to hear is this bit, so from 1 minute onwards.
Who voted for this? And why does Dalton need a mosque? Apparently just 11 Muslim families live nearby. Enough with the inclusivity BS. That argument has been utterly lost by the woke left and proponents of the Islamist caliphate in Britain. People simply aren't buying it anymore and are rightly outraged. There is absolutely no need to put a mosque here, and the sole reason is to artificially flood the area with Muslims as an extension of Operation Scatter, including ISIS warriors, Johnny Jihads, Islamists and the dregs of the third world. They will descend on this poor Cumbrian community. Our Lake District is a national institution and we are being conquered. It's also about 150 yards from a primary Catholic school, which is completely inappropriate. A donor at Pillar of Justice, Umar Ibn al-Khattab, said he is looking forward to expanding masajid, roads and cities for Islam to flourish. He ensured strength in the Ummah. Ummah is the International Muslim Brotherhood, which UKIP would designate as an Islamic terrorist organisation. Muslims believe Sharia law takes precedence over Western secular laws, such as Islamist Boko Haram, currently genociding Nigerian Christians, whose name literally translates into Western education forbidden. We all know the local residents have not consented to this act of cultural vandalism.
You know what? I mean, I'm laughing just because it's so ridiculous, but I do honestly believe that he should be arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, he's linking the mosque to ISIS and, you know, jihad and what evidence has he got for that? None whatsoever. And he's calling the builders traitors. This is a pure incitement.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we're going to see violence. He's literally, I mean, he's inciting violence against the builders of the mosque, probably non-Muslim, nice people, you know, and just insinuating that this mosque is there for terrorist activity, which is complete BS. The Cumbria police need to get him off the streets.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know that you contacted them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I know the organisers. Obviously, I've been in touch with them, but it's been a while since we initially reported on the story. Several months have passed, in fact. And as you can see, they're cracking on with work, building out nicely. But I was appalled at how much abuse they've been receiving in that time, and it's been activists bust in from outside to do these types of protests, vile language, activists like this bald twat trying to find the organizers, so roaming the streets looking for them. He's been naming the building firm online.
Outrageous.
I assume in the hopes of spreading it so more people will complain and abuse them as well. So again, another form of intimidation. And also the online abuse and the email abuse they've received is very, very concerning. We're talking about threats to the establishment, calls to have it burned down, emails calling them to get out of this country, go back to Pakistan. Just people. There was one tweet, basically a guy was saying we need to get a bulldozer and smash it down.
What the hell are the police doing, Robert?
So I did contact the police. They didn't respond initially, to be honest with you. When we first saw this video and others, they didn't respond. When I published the story, I said, look, guys, this story's going out. Are you doing anything about this? Are you going to comment at least? Is there any action on the horizon? And I sent them all the information. This looks like incitement to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. This appears to be incitement. And they've emailed us back saying, we're looking into it. We'll send you a statement in due course.
Okay, it does seem like they're
not very much.
PC plot, isn't it? Don't look like they're really on it. But,
I'm worried about it, Roshan, to be honest with you, because I know these guys.
Maybe they're waiting for someone to get killed before they take action. You know?
That seems like the way the police operates in this country sometimes. But we've already seen a pipe bomb chucked into a mosque.
Probably
in
busy
Belfast.
herding sheep up there or something. And, you know, they've got a sheep emergency.
What's their priorities? Yeah, what a joke. They're too busy detaining hippies who are, trying to end a genocide. They're too busy trying to beat them and jail them. They're missing this. But we've seen pipe bombs chucked into mosques in Belfast. A guy releasing rats into a mosque in Sheffield, I believe it was. Several other mosques like the Didsbury Mosque, they've had petrol bombs chucked at them a year or two ago. Mosques in this country are a target that's being attacked now. Okay, it's not hypothetical. It's not maybe in the future if things escalate. Mosques are being attacked all over the UK now, and it's happening all the time. So the threat is very, very real. And if you just go through the comment section of this idiot's video, there are people literally saying the place should get burned down. Okay, I've got the screenshots. I'm not pulling it out of nowhere. It's all there, all documented, all sent to the police, and nothing has yet happened to protect this facility and the people behind it. So let's see. I mean, you've said already, Roshan, that we may see race riots in this country.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
I think we're going to say again.
Don't tell me on the day. Everyone will say, no one warned us about it. Where's the Muslim condemnation of these race riots? Muslims not integrating. We warned you, okay? We're talking about it. We see what's happening, and we've told you the situation. If you're either going to deal with it now, preemptively, and take these scumbags off the street, or police them at least, or you're just going to sit back and let it happen. And when it does happen, don't come blaming us, Five Pillars, or other Muslims who have warned you about this, and say we're not taking action, because we bloody warned you.
I mean, as far as I know, the Lake District doesn't really have a mosque. And you got families traveling over an hour for Friday prayers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a need for it. Also, there are probably Muslim tourists in that beautiful part of the world, and they'd like to pray. And I think there are other, places of worship nearby, churches, maybe. I mean, in these remote areas, you often see like Buddhist centers and stuff like that. No one's worried about that. It's just this whole country is so replete.
Can you imagine if a vile gang of idiots like this turned up outside a synagogue? It would be mad.
Front page news, BBC, non-stop.
They'd have police around their house within 24 hours. It'd be all over the news. Yeah. People would be outraged. People would be getting involved. The Prime Minister would be weighing in. It's a total disgrace.
Oh, well, let's hope the PC plotter Cumbria police does something about it. I mean, look, if they have to protest, it should be nowhere near the mosque, and they certainly shouldn't be able to give out details of builders. Or say untrue things about the mosque, linking it to terrorism. I hope they sue him. Actually, they can launch a defamation suit against him very easily, and I think they should.
Yeah, and just to clarify for the people out there who don't seem to understand, they seem to believe all of these far right conspiracy theories. Not all Muslims are terrorists. Not all mosques are bomb-making factories. We're not trying to, offer locals in the Lake District the sword or the Quran. The mosque is already, before even being opened, provided benefits to the local community. They've already built a zebra crossing on that busy, fast-moving road outside to make life safer for locals trying to cross the road, trying to save lives. They've built an extra strip of pavement. They're going to provide car parking facilities. Mosques in this country provide wonderful services even to non-Muslims. During COVID, Roshan, you'll probably remember, mosques up and down the country were among the first institutions to mobilize to offer food, services, spaces to take, I think, tests. There was, I covered stories of mosques handing out food to local pensioners who couldn't leave their homes. They had no one else to provide food for them. Mosques in this country mobilized to help. They're forces for good. And frankly speaking, Islam is a force for good on the world stage. Absolutely. And the more people we can showcase Islam to, the better, as far as I'm concerned. They're doing nothing illegal. They have every right to be there. Godspeed to them. I hope they do build a mega masjid up there eventually. But this structure is very modest indeed.
What's our final story?
Final story, we've got New York's likely next mayor, Mamdani, has attended an event here. You might recognize the flag, Roshan. It's not an Islamic flag by any sense of the word.
What is that flag? I know what the banner on the guy's hat is. That's an LGBTQ banner.
Oh, you genuinely don't know?
What is it? Is it trans?
That's trans.
Oh, it's a trans flag.
Yeah, that's trans.
So not just LGBTQ, but trans as well. Okay,
yeah, so
right.
I was shocked and horrified.
MashaAllah, brother. You're really following Islam there, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, representing our belief system very well. So, Zohran Mamdani, he's one of these gay rights activist mayors. But the problem is he's being portrayed as the Muslim mayor, and everyone's attacking him on that basis. And he's
did you see those memes last week with the Statue of Liberty in a burqa?
Yeah,
when he won the Democratic primary.
Yeah, it's obviously we laugh about it, but it's no laughing matter, because at the end of the day we have our religion, which is a perfect religion, and we're proud of it. And then you have guys like Mamdani
distorting it,
totally distorting it, and now everyone's attacking Muslims. And he's just doing a terrible job. I mean, question marks, seriously. I mean, Sadiq Khan has done similar things to this. And he's already been accused of being non-Muslim by some.
Sadiq Khan Mark II, isn't he? It's always the same with these lefty politicians, Robert. Their socialism comes before their Islam, every single time. And it's not compatible. It simply isn't compatible. And I would encourage Muslims not to get involved in politics at that level, because it'll compromise their deen. You have to get elected. What's he doing, like jumping up and down like a nutter?
He's so happy.
What's he doing?
He's so happy to be there, man. What is it? Come on, man. Has he ever actually picked up a copy of the Quran? I mean, you have to be a Muslim.
He says he's practicing a 12 share. He looks like a right idiot there, doesn't he? What's he doing? They're bouncing up and down like a fool.
I mean,
what a fool.
I mean,
what's he doing there?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, you to be a Muslim, you have to sort of do stuff. You can't just like be born brown and then that's it.
You know, people will say to us, "Just take that off now. I can't think straight while he's doing his rabbit jump there." You know, people will say to us, "Oh, Roshan and Robert, you know, what do you expect? He's got to represent all New Yorkers, not just Muslims." That's why I say, look, I'm actually just one of these old-fashioned guys that just wants Muslims to follow Islam, whether they're sweeping the streets, doing a job that no one knows about, or whether they're going to be mayor of New York. I just want Muslims to follow Islam. It's a very simple formula. And in the public, obviously we all struggle privately with sins and whatever, but at least in public, don't blatantly flout Islamic values. I'm worried for his akhirah. You know, the guy's akhirah should be more important to him than becoming mayor of New York. And I just think we shouldn't get involved with politics to this extent. I think all Muslims should abandon the idea of becoming prime minister or a minister in a kufr system. You know, we should just get rid of that idea. If we're going to stay in this country, our job is to give dawah, and it's to be good citizens to Muslims and non-Muslims while we're in this country. But let's not get involved in politics to that extent where we have to choose between our religion and politics. Because if that happens, then we are basically destining ourselves for hellfire. Yeah. You know? Simple as that, really. So don't get involved to this extent. If you want to be a part of your local council, and all you want to do is make sure the bins are delivered on time, then I haven't got a massive problem with that. But the further higher up the chain you go, and you're faced with monumental decisions about societal matters in Dar al-Kufr, you're going to have to, at some stage, compromise on your Islam if you want to get elected or stay in power. And that's not a place where you want to be as a Muslim.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, total mess. I mean, I must admit, I apologize, dear viewers, that last week I spoke favorably of Mamdani. It's because I didn't know who he was. So I do apologize for that. I think he's...
Hope he loses.
Khan, yeah. I mean, obviously, I know people are going to say, look, he's big on Palestine. There are other issues for him to win here. I mean, yeah, like go on do your thing, win if you want. I don't know, but I'm not going to engage in it.
There's another thing
we've got to back up our own people here.
Another thing that needs to be said is that why this is so dangerous is because people, whatever he does, people will associate him with Islam. He'll be the Muslim mayor, whatever he does.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, people will think that LGBTQ is compatible with Islam and trans is compatible with Islam. Not just Muslims, but non-Muslims will think that. Sorry, not just non-Muslims, but Muslims also will get that idea. So what he is doing as such a prominent Muslim figure is he's distorting Islam. And I believe that Islam should be presented clearly as it is to the population at large and to the world at large, not a distorted version, which he is engaged in propagating.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gets worse, Roshan. It's not just this issue. It's not like one mistake. People will make excuses for him, I'm sure. But the guy even wants to like legalize prostitution.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
What a disgusting...
He's really, really compromised. And it's like you said, he's a total lefty. I mean, I'm not allowed to... I'm not in a position to question whether he's a Muslim or not. But I mean... there's going to be question marks from this. I mean, people are going to look at this and go, what the hell is his priorities? Has he even picked up a copy of the Quran in his life? Do you know what I mean? So, well, there you go. Many problems with this guy. I think I'm done with him already. I've only just met him.
I hope he loses. I hope he loses.
Whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah, I think it will be a negative for Muslims and Islam if he wins. Because people will associate his nonsense with Islam and Muslims.
He's just a lefty. He just needs to sever all ties publicly to Islam and just do us a favor. Just leave us alone and stop portraying yourself as saying you're not. That's pretty much it from this week's show.
Short show this week.
Sharp show. We do actually have a lot going on at Five Pillars, brothers and sisters, so that is part of the reason. But obviously we are trying our best to keep the show consistent week in and week out now, and hopefully we can continue that trend. And of course we are covering as many stories as we possibly can, but we are limited in resources here. So of course your support helps us to continue doing what you love us doing the most, which is covering all of these stories, reacting to the news, and making an impact in any way that we possibly can. We are, of course, going to be covering the Palestine Action stuff. There's a vote later today. That's probably going to be key. So anyone watching this, I think the next sort of 24, 48 hours is pretty important because that story is going to probably be a big headliner, I think.
Yeah, we should say, just so that our viewers know, that it looks like by Friday, Saturday, I think actually it's Friday night, midnight, so Saturday morning, Palestine Action will become a terrorist organization in the UK. Ridiculous, I know, but that's going to happen. It does mean that if you support it in any way, by waving flags, saying we are Palestine Action, or online, you have committed a terrorist offense. So viewers should know that. I believe this law is going to be widely flouted on conscientious objection reasons, but it's also important for us to put out the information so that you can make your own choice.
Absolutely. Well, please like, share and subscribe. Of course, it helps the channel immensely. We will be covering more stories, and inshallah, we will be back again next week. Let's not end on this picture.
No.
I'm trying to find one that's
a Shahada flag.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go back to Five Pillars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, apologies for that. But yeah, know your stuff. Watch Five Pillars.
What are Muslims thinking, not what are lefty socialists, non-Muslims thinking.
The gay mayors of the world, what are they doing? But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Please like, share and subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. And stay tuned for more news from Five Pillars, inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.